Hey guys, it's EJ with Blockpad, and today we're looking at static equations. Now, static equations are going to take a formula, just like regular or dynamic equations, and it's going to show it in math notation, but it's not going to actually calculate anything. So they end up being useful for expressing mathematical ideas, but not really any number crunching. So to insert a static equation, come up here in the toolbar and click static equation and then type in the formula. So P times V equals M times R times T and press enter. So that's that. I'm going to tab over, and another method is going to be to press Control K and then start typing in static equation. And when it shows up, press enter. And now type in the formula. So P equals M times R times T divided by V, and press enter. And that's going to show that in math notation. And note that if I try to do this with the regular equation, so press equal sign, P times V equals M times R times T, and press enter, then I'm going to get an error because P times V is not a valid name, and because M, R, and T are not defined. So backing up, now just like with regular equations, you can change the math layout properties on here. So I'm going to control click these and go to properties, click math layout, and I can change properties here like multiplication to the dot, or to this, I can change this to reduce size and click OK. So now my superscripts are reduced size and my multiplication symbols are dots. So that's really what you need to know, but I've got a lot of examples that we can walk through some details. So first is symbols will work in the static equation. So for example, the Greek letter delta, or the symbol here, plus or minus. Another thing is that arrays will show up as arrays in static equations. So like the a plus b and a minus b here, we use brackets to define the array, or the ABC down here. Also, functions that use math notation will show up in static equations as well. So, for example, square root, absolute value, the if function, sum, linear series, integral, and summation. A note about integral and summation: the first input for these is an inline function, and you're going to have that as an inline function for the math layout to show. So for example, if I put in a static equation and just type in integral of 5 times x, then it's just going to say integral of 5 times x. But if I change this to be an inline function, so x, then the inline function symbol, equals and greater than, if I press enter, then it's going to show up as math notation. Similarly, for summation, you're going to need that first input to be an inline function. So finally, I want to point out that the Blockpad Latex syntax availability also works in static equations. So here I have the overwrite arrow working on A and B. You can see that in my formula here. And then here I have the double subscript in TH2O, and that's also done using the Latex syntax inside of a Blockpad equation. I'm going to put a link in the description that'll explain about how to use the Latex syntax in Blockpad. And I'll also put a link in the description to this file so that you can use it as a reference. That's all I've got for you today. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.